the CIPD in Ireland Podcast, championing better work and working lives for all.
Hello everyone and welcome to the latest edition of the CIPD in Ireland Podcast. I'm your host, Meg Dunphy. This month we will be joined by a special guest, our new Market Director, Alison Hodgson. We'll get to know Alison, hear her vision, her priorities and her views on the opportunities and challenges facing the people profession in Ireland. We'll also be looking ahead at two major events coming up on the CIPD calendar, our annual Wellbeing Conference and the CIPD HR in Ireland Awards. And we'll share a sneak peek at some new research being launched at the Wellbeing Conference, exploring the link between employee experience, well-being and business success. We've lots to get through, so let's get started. Alison Hodgson joined us this summer as the CIPD New Market Director in Ireland. She brings with her a wealth of experience in HR, people development and change, shaped through senior roles across retail, tech, telecoms, financial services and semi-state sectors. Alison, it's great to have you on the podcast.
Thank you.
So our listeners would love to get to know you a little bit more. So can you tell us a little bit about your professional journey that led you up to the point where you're now CIPD Director in Ireland?
Sure. I'm one of those people that always wanted to be in HR. I know quite a few people fall into HR, but I set out to be in HR and went about doing that. So I have worked in several sectors across several territories. Majority of my career so far has been based out of London with European responsibility and some US responsibility. So I have been a generalist for probably most of my career, but I've also specialised into talent management, resourcing, graduate and MBA recruiting, and some special project stuff like apprenticeships and engagement surveys and NVQ programmes in the UK in particular.
Brilliant. And I love that expression, I fell into HR, because we do hear it a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
Like, so you've described it as your dream job coming into this role as the CIPD Director. Can you tell us a little bit about why it makes it so special, or what you think is so special about this role?
So it was a really big decision for me to leave industry after being a HR practitioner over several decades in multiple sectors. But I've always been involved in the CIPD in a volunteering capacity and in a non-executive capacity since too many years ago. But I believe in our sense of community. HR is a very challenging, tricky profession. It is a very confidential role where you're not able to talk about what you do with other colleagues and friends in your workplace. But we have a community here that you can turn to and talk to. And you barely need to say, because we understand, because we've done the jobs, we know what it's like, and we know how challenging it is. And it's all about the balancing of the needs of the employee and the needs of the organisation, and coming together in a sustainable, responsible, ethical way.
And leading on from that then, Alison, you do know the challenges and you do know the opportunities. So what would you say are your priorities, your vision for the few years ahead?
So the CIPD has so much to offer in terms of that community, that connection, in terms of our research. We are the professional body for the world of HR, for the world of learning and development, for the world of OD, for the world of people managers in general. And we have got a wealth of information and resources on our website. And we've actually adopted AI ourselves internally, where we've created our own AI chatbot that will make it easier for our members and us actually to find what you're looking for on our members' website. So in between the research, the surveys, the community, and then of course our events, both virtual and in person. We've just come this morning from doing an employment law event with nearly 100 people in the room, just across the river here in Dublin, with McCann Fitzgerald, which we're very grateful for their partnership on that. And it's great to have the opportunity to openly discuss the challenges of what we do, both in a day-to-day, short-term and medium-term aspect, but also trying to help our members and our customers see around corners, share with them the research and the insights that we have around what's coming down the line for all of us in the world of work.
Great. So what I'm hearing is a lot around more community, more sharing, more events, opening up the doors for more engagement.
Absolutely. We are open for business, and we love connecting with people, and we love hearing from people around what they're doing, how they're doing what they're doing, understanding how we can support, and what part can we, the CIPD, play in your career and your organisation.
And Alison, how do you see the people profession in Ireland evolving? Because you did mention a few buzzwords there. AI, sustainability, all of these things that I suppose make our work environment more dynamic, more rapid. So how do you see it evolving?
So look, across my career, the role of HR has transformed entirely. So back in the 90s, it was tea and tissues. You were very much there to hold the hand of the employee. You were there to schedule the hours and draw up the rosters. It was a very transactional world back then. It has now become very strategic. You are a business partner now, so you're less about the rostering and the scheduling of hours, and you're more about the strategic workforce planning. You're more about the capability and the talent that an organisation needs to deliver what they need to deliver. And going, looking around the corner again, how is it going to evolve? It's happening at such a rapid pace that it's kind of hard to know. But certainly in the world of AI, because you can't go very far in an organisation now without talking about AI, we are going to be teammates with AI agents. So there's going to be me, and there's going to be Ask AI in our CIPD World chatbot, and we're going to be teammates together. So as a HR professional, we have to get our head around, how do you do talent management when you're working with both humans and AI agents? How do you do performance management, both of humans and AI agents? How do you QA the work of both humans and AI agents? How do you make sure that you are being fair and balanced and true, ethically and sustainably? Because we're all here to continue to survive and do what we do. So you need to make sure that you don't cut off your nose to spite your face, and that the way you do what you do can be done again. It can be scaled and repeated.
Yeah, and do you think that opens up opportunities for HR to be more involved in the business, to take more of a leadership role in certain aspects?
Absolutely, and I actually see it going back to some of the fundamental principles and disciplines of HR. So I think HR is going to find themselves much more in the world of job design, and job design running alongside workflow processes. So HR working hand in glove with their IT colleagues and with their tech and digital colleagues. I can see us absolutely looking at how we future-proof what we do. So where the operational efficiencies and opportunities are in how we do what we do. So we're always looking to be a lot more efficient in everything that we do in all of our jobs, regardless of sector. So HR is going to be very much involved in and around the design of organisations. And what we're finding, and our members are telling us and our research is showing us, is that organisations are now moving from traditionally being structured in the pyramid shape to being a diamond shape type organisation. So the opportunity to automate and digitalise the transactional rinse and repeat tasks of HR will be done by AI agents going forward, and that therefore allows us as HR professionals to move up the value chain and to work in jobs and do work that is of more value and adds more interest and innovation and evolution for the organisations that we're all operating in.
Exciting times. And how do you think CIPD support businesses in that realm?
So we are all about being a partner with our members individually and organisationally. So we have got employer solutions that will help organisations access our resources, our research, our tools, our frameworks and our capabilities. So we're also looking at not just the HR world, but we're looking at the world of people managers. And there are hundreds of thousands of people out here in Ireland who have got the responsibility for people. And we are really well placed, if not best placed, to support those professionals in what they do, regardless of their sector and regardless of their job title. So you've got lots of SMEs, lots of small to medium enterprises, companies here in Ireland that don't have HR functions, but they've got people. And they've got operation managers and finance managers who've got the responsibility for people. Yeah. And we've got the capability to support them in that by giving them access to our research and our content and our resources and the community that you can join in and play a part of.
Brilliant, Alison. I love the vision, but maybe back to you a little bit. So you are one of the few chartered companions that we have in Ireland, and I wanted you to tell us a little bit about what that means to you personally, and I suppose what that designation means for in the professional world.
It was, it took me by surprise. It's a real honour. The companion category is the top 1% of globally recognised HR professionals across the world. So it really was a privilege to become a companion. For me, we've just introduced recently digital badging, and what that gives you as an individual, as a HR professional, that gives you validation of what you have done, and it gives you calibration across a community, so you know where you're at, you know where you can reach to, and you know who your community is. And so for me, that's what the world of accreditation is all about, being validated and calibrated.
And it's great to see, on LinkedIn, we're seeing a lot of people update their profiles and show, and the excitement and pride that people have, which is great to see.
There's nothing like peddling your wares. Yeah. There really isn't. We all do it. And we all should do it, and we should do it with pride.
Now it's time for a break, but stay tuned to hear about 2 key events for the CIPD that's coming up in part 2. Welcome back. The CIPD Ireland Wellbeing Conference is just around the corner. It's taking place in Croke Park on the 7th of October, and we'll be exploring wellbeing by design. This is the intentional integration of wellbeing into how we work, how we lead, and how we measure success. Alison, in your view, can we be more intentional about wellbeing and linking it to the wider business objectives?
I think wellbeing, like diversity, equity and inclusion, has had a lot of pushback recently in the world. The pendulum has swung almost completely the other way. And that's disappointing, because well-being and us as human beings all play a part in business success. One hand washes the other. You can't be performing well and doing a good job without being well yourself and feeling well. So, spoiler alert, happy employees equal happy customers equal good business performance. It's difficult. It's difficult in this day and age, because we've got to remember the metrics behind it all.
Yeah, and to that point, we have some new research out, the Health and Wellbeing Report, which is out this month. There was over 1,100 respondents in that, and some of the key findings were that absence has increased by nearly 2 days in just 2 years, which is quite shocking. While we didn't see the exact same rise in Ireland when we surveyed people this year, they said that the absence rates had increased. That was 36% of organisations. 20% had said it decreased. which is interesting, and it stayed the same for 44%. Quite similar to the UK, though, they did find that mental ill health is the leading cause of both short-term and long-term absence, with it being the number one reason for long-term absence and the number two reason for short-term. And in Ireland, it is the number two reason as well. So there is evidence showing a real business case for strengthening proactive wellbeing strategies. We've also commissioned new research, Alison, which you will be launching at the Wellbeing Conference next month. Is there anything you can give us a little sneak preview about?
Look, you've just talked through some very important metrics there, and as a profession, it's important that we are data-driven. That way we have the credibility and the integrity to make our points and play our part in key organisation decision making. So we have worked in partnership with Wellaba, who have correlated what the relationship is between good organisational performance in terms of the P&L and the commercials, alongside employee engagement and what makes up employee engagement. So interestingly enough, this is probably no surprise to you, but good learning and development opportunities, good flexible working opportunities, being able to control the controllables like workload and communication within an organisation all make up employee engagement. So they are all things that we as HR professionals and business managers can control. So when we do that and when we work with all of those things, that leads to well-engaged employees, which leads to happy customers, which leads to good business organisation performance.
It will be really interesting to hear the rest of the results at the conference, because it's really, I suppose, setting the scene for the data, as we know is the important key to the conversation.
That's where we get our credibility from.
Exactly.
Having that data to draw upon.
Yeah, so no surprises there. So the conference is going to be very much about intentional design. It's very much about what we just discussed there, the business impact that having these wellbeing strategies and integrating that into your overall organisational objectives can have. We're going to be talking a little bit about uncertain times and how people are managing through that. We are going to be sharing some case studies. We're going to be doing a conference-wide workshop. And I think all of that is really going to bring us together as a collective to show the value and the data, and send people away with a lot more data and robust, I suppose, information that they can use
and
at their disposal.
Insights is what we will be giving the audience at that conference. So you can have a lot of data points and you can have a lot of information, but until you distill those into insights, what does that mean? What could we do differently? And if we try something new, what impact will that have on the metrics? So it's about using the data to understand what it means for us as HR professionals, but for the organisations and the sectors that we're working in. And Leia Healthcare have just launched their Mind Health Report in May of this year as well. They're partnering with us at the conference, and they're now part of AXA. So we're getting to hear a lot of their global insights. And as an island economy, it's important that we look outwards. It's important that we look to our nearest neighbours, both east and west of us, and understand what learnings there are there for us to take back and contextualise back here in Ireland.
Yep, absolutely. So tickets are now on sale. So people can go to Eventbrite and search for CIPD Ireland to get those. Another event we have to look forward to as well, Alison, is the HR in Ireland Awards, which we've done some work recently on updating, simplifying, and making it as inclusive as we can. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how we've streamlined that process and some other interesting things that we've done this year? Yeah,
look, we really sat back and took a look at them in the summer, and we wanted to make them more accessible and more attractive to apply and participate in. So we've streamlined down all three stages of the process. We have aligned our categories with the PMAs, which are the People Management Awards, which is the global CIPD Awards. And for the first time this year, the winners in the CIPD in Ireland HR Awards will get an automatic ticket to enter into the global CIPD PMA Awards. and it's pretty much the categories have been aligned now in as much as they can be, so it doesn't require any further work. You will already have done the work and the heavy lifting, so it'll just be a case of hit submit.
Yes, so for anybody watching, you can enter the awards, which we sincerely hope you will. Go to irelandawards.cipd.org/IE. One of our new categories this year, Alison, is the most inspirational and impactful leader. And it was to line up with the HR 30 that's in the UK as well. Do you foresee some interesting applications coming in that category?
Absolutely. There are so many impressive HR leaders here in Ireland. And of course, this year, the CIPD launched the top 30. And Matt Elliott, our Chief People Officer here in Bank of Ireland, is in the top 30. So Ireland is already well represented, but there are many more. There are many more here. And anytime any of our global CIPD colleagues who come here from Singapore or the Middle East or over from the UK or in from Europe, they are forever going away full of admiration and, compliments for the level of work that we're doing here and how much more sophisticated and progressive we are than they perhaps thought we were.
Well, on that note, Alison, I'd like to thank you so much for your time.
Thank
you. I look forward to having you again.
Thanks.
You can enter the awards by going to irelandhrawards.cipd.org/IE. Alison, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to hearing much more from you in future episodes. In the meantime, remember you can check out our website and socials to see everything going on across our community. And of course, if you have any feedback, we'd love to hear it. And we do really appreciate your messages. You can contact me on meg.dunphy@cipd.ie. You'll also get us on info@cipd.ie. That's it for today, though. I'll speak to you next month. Take care and bye for now.